A little bit about my locks. My locks were started with braids. These are what are considered braid locks. I call them micro locks because, quite frankly, all locks, after they get to a certain point, you normally can't even tell what they were started with. So I just reference them as micro locks because they're just tiny locks. They are not sister locks. Sister locks is a specific type of locks that started with a trademark pattern or a trademarked process or method of installing as well as retightening, and that is not what this is. These were started with braids and maintained with a 4-point rotation. As mentioned, I did start them by going to a loctician. I maintain my locks on my own. I would say over the course of having my locks, which I'm about 2 months shy of 9 years locked, over that almost 9 years, I probably have about a total of 6 to 8 months where I went to a loctician to get them done. So when they were installed, I did not stay with the person who installed my locks just because the experience was horrific. I immediately went to someone else, or for my first retightening, I went to someone else. I was able to find someone and they were great. They maintained or retightened my locks for about the first 3 to 4 months. I was very intentional about the fact that I would maintain my locks on my own. So I would pay close attention to what she was doing, right? Just by feel. And of course, I did a lot of research online. I knew that I wanted a 4-point rotation. I knew that I wanted to keep them a specific size, but I wasn't so caught up on it. I also was not caught up on like a particular grid or having a really tight grid. That was not of concern for me. And so after about that 3-4 month time period, started retightening myself. I had some fails during that time period, but overall, I did pretty well. I would attribute that to the research that I did online at the time. And keep in mind, back then, everyone did not have micro locks. It was hit or miss being able to find things. So I did a lot of research, and those that had information out there, like I was on it. If it was out there, I saw it. So I do, as I mentioned, use a 4-point rotation. After I stopped going to the first person who was doing my retightenings, I would probably say every year or so, maybe 2 years, I would try someone else. They would do it once, maybe twice, and I would, end up doing it myself. Like I said, probably about a total of 6 to 8 months that I may have gone to a loctician to get my locks retightened, and the rest of the time I have done it on my own. Going to a loctician, it's difficult for me because I know how to retighten my locks on my own. It's hard for me to find someone who does it just right. You know how it's kind of like, when you get people to help clean your home. Like, that they can take the burden off of doing the cleaning, but you're very specific about what you want. Like, the things in your house that just irk you. And so you end up having to tell them, this is what I need done. Here is where I need to make sure you focus. And when they don't do it, you're kind of like, I could have done that myself. However, right, when you think about the time and the physical that comes with doing it, you end up going, yeah, let me just go ahead and pay someone to do it. And so I would hit those phases during my lock journey where I would think, I need to go to a loctician. I know they're not going to do it exactly the way I want, but let me just go ahead and have them do it so that my arms aren't killing me, my back isn't killing me, I'm not taking days to do it, because it does take me a number of days to do it when I do it, whereas they can do it in like 4 hours. But it looks nothing like when I do it. So that's the difficult part. So I end up going back to doing it myself all the time. I will probably try again to find someone because with age, it is certainly not easy to maintain on my own.